Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I apologize for the technical delay that we had there, but thank you for joining us today for this information session on the Product Management Executive Program. I'm Grace Chimolu from Product Management Festival. And today, if you have any questions, please feel free to send in it through the chat window on the side, or we have an email address, exec@productmanagementfestival.com. So what I will be going through today, we'll be going through the session as well, what the program is about, and then we'll make sure we have some time to answer some questions. We had gotten a few beforehand, and then we'll get to anything that has also come through the chat window. So with that, I'll go ahead and share a few slides that I have for you. Apologize. There we go. What is the Product Management Executive Program? This is an accelerated executive level leadership development and advanced product management program, and it's brought to you by Product Management Festival and INSEAD. And as I mentioned, what I'll go through is what the program is about, who is it for, how you would benefit, who is teaching the program, as well as the program schedule, some feedback we have received, and also how to apply. For those of you who don't know us, Product Management Festival is an organization whose mission is to amplify the impact of product management globally, not only on the products themselves, but also on the organizations, and to help product managers be more successful. We had been hearing from the people we meet through our annual conferences and local initiatives that there was a desire and need for more resources and training, not just for the standard product management and leadership topics, but also for areas more relevant at the executive level. As product managers' careers progress, their roles shift to start focusing on more strategic areas, such as shaping and influencing the organization. Therefore, the standard PM education becomes insufficient at this point. And so we partnered with INSEAD, a leader in executive education and the #1 ranked international business school 2 years in a row by the Financial Times. This program will help you gain the tools, knowledge, and know-how to lead effectively and to amplify your impact on the organization. The programs are held on INSEAD's campuses, with the next 2 programs, the 26th to 30th of November this year in Fontainebleau, France, as well as also the 1st to the 4th April in next year, also on the France campus. And then there will be a Singapore program in fall 2019, most likely about October timeframe. But if you're interested in learning more about the Singapore program and need to learn a little bit more of the information a little bit earlier, feel free to let us know so we can make sure we definitely keep you in the loop as well about our plans for the next program there. One of the things that we get asked a fair bit that I would like to just point out here is that each program is independent of the other. You do not need to travel to both campuses to complete the program. Who is the program for? It's for current and rising product management executives. And you'll be able to discover, explore, and refine your PM skills at the executive level. It will be relevant to those who are transitioning into the executive level and wish to accelerate their learning or be more aware of what areas will need to be developed, such as a different level of communication or execution as they make their next career move. It's also for current product management executives who wish to refine their executive level skills. Sometimes we don't have the benefit of a mentor, and on-the-job training can sometimes only go so far, especially if you're entering uncharted territory with the company. This program can help expose you to additional tools, scenarios, experiences, and processes that could help you. We will be covering advanced product management topics, so it will be taught at the level of someone who already has had a fair number of years of PM experience, or at least exposure. How would this program benefit you? I'll go through 5 reasons here, though there are many, many more. The first is acknowledging and developing your leadership style so you can lead yourself and your organization through growth and change. At the executive level, you have so much more power. But as the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. So it's critical you understand your leadership style and how you impact others. And you can develop your capacity to exercise your leadership effectively and responsibly within your organization, because then you can better understand how to affect change. As product managers progress in their careers, their responsibilities start to shift. We rely on our ability to lead through the organization, ability to influence and navigate through networks, and to get the job done. And at the executive level, this ability to lead and influence continues, and with greater impact. If you thought being a product manager was tough, having all that responsibility with no authority, just think of how it will be having to influence stakeholders at the executive level and who are all your peers. I found this quote from a Forbes article and thought it was insightful. The dynamics will change. You're a leader to a group of leaders. The second benefit is effectively building, developing, and retaining your teams. And that requires an understanding of your impact on group dynamics. I think it goes without saying that it's pretty hard to grow and develop a product team if you don't have a good hold on retention. Turnover costs can range from 93 to 200% of an exiting employee's salary. And I'll also note that this is from an article that's titled Voluntary Turnover. They usually their bosses and not their jobs. If you need to scale your team, retention is key. But this is not just about being a good manager. This is also about understanding your impact on group dynamics, on how to effectively use your networks, and how to scale your team in a sustainable way, and how to develop and manage product management culture. Most of us need to work hard to learn how to be good and effective managers and leaders. And as that responsibility grows, I challenge you to strive to be the executive that great team members want to work with, or be the executive that you would want to work with. Complementing the product management specific sessions that are taught by guest speakers, we're also going to have guest speakers who are currently heading up their product management organizations at their companies. They will give you insight into what they've learned, their successes and mistakes, and provide you with practical, actionable information that you can apply or look into applying once you get back home. Some of us don't have the benefits of mentors, especially at the executive level where there are fewer PM exec. Or there are mentors available at the executive level, but they don't have insight into what product management specific challenges you might face. This program can help with that. And while many of us learn from on-the-job training, which I'm a big fan of, sometimes we don't have the luxury of time to learn from our mistakes. Sometimes we also don't have the financial leeway to make too many large-scale mistakes. So learn from those who have come before you. And as I like to think of it, don't repeat mistakes that you can already sidestep. If you're going to make mistakes, go make new ones you can learn from. Another benefit of the program is the focus on critical softer skills that are often overlooked. Many feel like they've worked on areas like communications, negotiations, networking, and think they're all set. But these are skills that always can use refining. And now you're in an executive role where you're communicating with groups you may have not had to before. A board, investors, strategic partners, the press. Your words have farther reach and bigger implications and impact. Your communication can potentially affect stock price, land or lose a key client or partner, trigger a lawsuit. That can be a little bit extreme, but the list can go on. You'll need to be ever mindful of your communication style and other soft skills. This program will help you refine and strengthen those skills and increase your self-awareness so you can maximize those soft skills to your advantage. Finally, I think we've probably all have already heard about how important it is to network. Most organizations don't have teams of product managers around, so oftentimes we hear how product managers feel they're alone in their situations. But after meeting other product managers, such as an event like PMF or a local meetup group, or reading articles and books, they realize that many of the problems are actually experienced by so many others. This program will be bringing senior level product managers together. You will not only learn from the faculty, but also from each other. You'll become part of a community from which you will reap the benefit for years to come. This program is not possible without our faculty. Our program director is Noah Askin, who's an assistant professor of organizational behavior at INSEAD, and teaches the executive education classes as well as the organizational design and leadership courses in the core MBA program. He's also received a Dean's Commendation in Excellence of Teaching. Joining him, we have guest speakers who are product management executives at their respective organizations who will be sharing their lessons learned with you. In the interest of time, I won't go into each one, but know that you can find the information on our website. Here's a view to a sample program schedule. It might change sometimes depending on the availability and the schedules of the various faculty members that we have coming for that program. But what we have are 3 days of leadership classes, and those are led by Professor Askin. And they'll be on topics such as building a network, how to understand your informal authority, using power and status to be able to help influence the advanced negotiations, and trying to understand how your leadership style is and how is it received. And these are all done through a mixture of lectures, cases, workshops, group exercises. We also have in the dark green 2 days of product management specific content. And as I mentioned before, these are actually led by the product management professionals who are already at their own organizations leading product management. And so these will be on topics such as stakeholder management and communicating with a board, scaling the product or their organization, managing the product portfolio, or managing the culture of the team. And then in the evening, what we'll have are various social activities, such as dinners and networking events. And the idea here is to be able to provide a time outside the classroom where the students and the faculty will have a chance to get to know each other much better. So another question that we get a lot of is, what has the feedback been about the program? And so I'd like to share some brief highlights with you now. This is our class from the program that we had in France in the summertime. Of the 25 participants that we had, 9 were C-levels, and 4 of them were chief product officers, and the others were CTOs, CMOs, and COOs who had product reporting to them. We also had 7 vice presidents and head of products, and 5 director and senior product manager levels. They came from throughout Europe, US and Russia, and hailed from companies such as Booking.com, WeTransfer, Zipcar, Shipstead, and many others. The program itself received an NPS score of 87.5. And when we asked what was the single most important reason behind recommending the program, here are a few examples of the reasons cited. The content is precisely for product leaders. There's no waste of time with completely unrelated topics. There's so much knowledge in just 5 days. The quality of the sessions and the group discussions were what was compelling for them. And it's also a very stimulating program, the group experience. And so these are just a few of the various reasons of the single most reason why they would recommend the program. So how can you become a part of this unique program? To apply for it, you can visit our website off the product management page, productmanagementfestival.com, or email us for the application. And it's also right here on the top right, exec@productmanagementfestival.com. The applications are due to INSEAD by the deadline for the respective program. We have listed the deadlines for them on the website as well. And so you can take a look at if you need to take a look at when they are due. But you'll also receive an admissions notification decision from INSEAD, and those dates are also included on the website so that you have an idea of when the applications are due as well as when you'll be notified by. And if you have any questions, as I mentioned, feel free to email Product Management Festival. So just a quick summary of the highlights of what I just went over. There are 3 programs coming up. The main 2 that are coming up in winter and spring are both in the Fontainebleau, France campus for INSEAD, the 26th to 30th of November, and then the 1st to the 4th of April. These are 5 days, and 3 days of them are for executive leadership, and then 2 days of them are on the product management specific parts. The program is 9,200 euros, excluding the VAT. And you can also see much more program information and also download the brochure as well as an application from the website. Or of course, feel free to email us anytime. So as we wrap up here, I wanted to share a graphic that I saw courtesy of Professor Askin from a presentation he did on the skills needed for a product manager. And he encapsulates very well what is needed to be a successful senior level PM. It's the brain of an engineer, the heart of a designer, the tongue of a diplomat, and my personal favorite, the herding skills of an Australian shepherd. We understand the types of challenges you face as a product manager, and this program can help you become a stronger product management executive and help you amplify your impact on the organization. And so with that, thank you very much for your time today. And as I said, feel free to email us at any time at the email on the screen. And with that, I'll also turn it over to a few questions that we had received beforehand, as well as take a look at anything that has come in through the chat window. So one of the questions that we receive a fair bit and has also come in for this session was, what does the tuition cover? So what the tuition covers are the course materials, the program sessions, as well as the catering, the social activities as well, which I'll go into in just a little bit in the evening. What it does not cover are the accommodations. And so what does happen though, INSEAD has a policy of being able to provide an automatic reservation for the official hotel that is tied to this program. And that way you just have a way of knowing that you already are guaranteed a place to stay. You are certainly not forced to stay at this, and you can make your own reservations, but it is done automatically. But there's always a period of time where you can then decline the reservation or accept it. And then what happens is that upon checkout, then you would settle the bill at that time. So the tuition of the 9,200 euros is for the program itself, excluding accommodations. And one other question is, what are the organized activities that are happening outside of the program, and are they required? So we do have activities in the evening, not every day, just because we also realize that everyone has their day jobs and they're taking time away from this. And so in one sense, having 5 days at a campus does allow you to get the intense learning and networking opportunities that would be very beneficial. However, we realize there's also some time where you need to check back in on things. So there are an opening and closing dinners that will happen. The opening dinner is on a Sunday night before the program starts. And then there's usually at least one, perhaps two other networking activities that are organized after the classes are over. They are definitely not mandatory, although highly encouraged for you to attend. And so the idea here is just to be able to provide you an opportunity to get to know your classmates better, the faculty as well, and then provide a way also for those of you who are interested in seeing Fontainebleau or Singapore, a little bit of chance to also get to see the town itself. But this is one of those areas where we felt like it was very beneficial for having a program that is off-site, that there is that ample opportunity for networking outside of the classroom. And then there's another question about whether the program will have the same faculty members teaching. And so in this case, it really does depend on the availability of the faculty members. And so sometimes some of the faculty members will be able to make it to each one, but it really just depends on their schedule. And so what we'll have is the expectation that not every faculty member will be able to make it to the same sessions. So we'll have a nice mix. And then with that also will the sessions always be the same ones. And so that one is also, we do have a little bit of mixture of that. There are some core components of the product management specific sessions that we certainly would always have. But then there's also a few where it's perhaps a specialty of that guest lecturer who's coming, or it is something region specific that we felt like is interesting for us to cover for that particular campus. And so in that sense, sometimes some of the sessions may differ slightly, but in terms of the core knowledge and a lot of the key highlights and takeaways and everything and the experience in itself, those will remain very, very similar between campuses. So I think with that, those are the questions that we have for the moment. Thank you again for joining us. And as I mentioned, please feel free to reach out to us at exec@productmanagementfestival.com anytime to ask us any questions. Until then, please take care. Thank you.